Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Husqvarna zero turn, an RZ4621. That means it's a 46-inch cut deck with a 21 horsepower engine on it. It's a Briggs 33 cubic inch engine. On some of them Nicky carburetor ones, gas, when the O-rings get bad in there in the carburetor, gas will leak and go in the oil. Anyways, that's what happened with this. It broke the piston rod and cracked the block. So we're gonna replace this motor. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I went and unhooked the starter, the wire to the starter. Then I unhooked the PTO to the PTO clutch. Then I unhooked the fuel line, and I unhooked the throttle cable on the other side. And that's pretty much it on top. We gotta jack it up here. So when you take the PTO clutch off, and we can take the 4 bolts out that hold the motor in. There's a PTO clutch right there. So what we're gonna do is loosen these two brackets, hold these two hydros together, loosen them up, and take this back one off. So this clutch will slide down. And like I said, we have four bolts to hold the motor in. It ain't really that hard. You just gotta take your time and just make sure you do it right. I'll go get a air wrench and we'll take that PTO clutch off and the motor mounting bolts. I'll throw a brand new Briggs in there and they go back mowing again. Now we'll loosen this back bracket up and take this front one out so we can get this PTO clutch out of there. There's a couple washers in here too. We don't want to lose these washers. These little washers here. Take the zip tie off. Make sure that PTO power switch is unplugged and feed it onto the deck here. You don't want to pull this connecting end off or anything like that. Sometimes these things are stuck on here and sometimes they're not. So you might have to spray some. Might have to spray some oil on this one. I don't know. I'll use some good penetrating oil on there. Slowly coming. There we go. Now we'll take a screwdriver and take that belt off. A little spacer, and take the belt off for the hydros. And that pulley looks like it's stuck pretty good too. Let that sit on there a few minutes. That one's kind of rusted on there. There we go. Take out our 4 bolts, and these here have lock nuts on the top. These aren't self-tapping bolts, so we'll need a wrench on top. Okay, I'm not going to take this one here all the way out because we need something in there so the motor don't. Okay, let me lower this a little bit. And we'll take that last bolt that's barely in there, and we'll take the motor out. Okay, let's lower it down the rest of the way and pop the motor out. Okay, I'm gonna clean that base plate down, clean that up a little bit right there, and we'll stick the new motor on. Okay, it's time to set the new motor in there. When you change motors, make sure your PTO shaft is the same length and the same diameter, or else you have to change clutches and all that stuff. And it's pretty nice in there. But we're gonna go ahead and bolt up the motor mounts and everything. But we're not gonna hook up no electrical wires until we put oil in there, because you don't want to have it turn over without any oil in there. You'll definitely ruin it right away. So let's jack it up a little bit, start them bolts. Okay, we got one started. Okay, and this last bolt here, it's a longer one. It goes on this side over here, but that's because there's a ground wire that we have to bolt onto that one. It'll be on the second nut. They had two nuts on this side, so okay, let's go ahead and tighten them down. Alrighty, let's go ahead and put our have to put some oil on that pivot arm. That looks like a 3/4. I'll loosen that up a little bit. Spray some oil on there. You want that belt. It's a spring tension pivot arm. You want to keep that belt tight all the time. There we go. Well, that's better. Spray some oil on that pivot arm bushing. Okay, now the PTO clutch. And we had the spacer that goes on there. I keep on dropping this son of a gun. Here, PTO plug-in. Run it back through the hole and then we get our twist tie and tie it on there, but let's tighten it up first. There's that. Make sure you put these spacers in there. We'll get that all tightened up. Okay, I'll get a zip tie real quick here. And this so this wire don't get caught in one of the transmission belt or something. There, now we can lower it down a ways and We're going to put the oil in first before we do anything else because I don't want the motor spinning over without any oil in there. So I'm going to lower it down a ways. Put some brand new SAE30 weight in there. And when you get a brand new motor, don't put synthetic oil in there. You got to put regular oil in there till the motor breaks in. And after the motor breaks in, then you can go and use synthetic oil. But on a new motor, if you put synthetic in right away, the piston and the cylinder won't get a chance to, wear in together and stuff. So you just use regular SAE30 oil in a brand new motor. And after about 30, 50 hours or so, and you do your first oil change, then you probably start using synthetic, but you have to use regular oil for everything to wear together. Okay, we got the oil in there now, so now we can start hooking all the electrical stuff up now. Okay, here's our plug-in for the PTO clutch. And here's our wire for our starter. Get that tightened down there. Put that safety cover over it. Now plug the wiring in. It only goes in one way. And our ground wires, there's 2 ground wires on that extended bolt. And here's the nut for that. Get that nice and tight. Okay. Now the fuel line. Turn the gas on. Now I hook up the throttle. And it should be almost done then. I'll jack it up a little bit here. Yeah, this one there is a throttle and choke all in one. So we got to adjust it. So when the throttle's wide open, and just double check it. All right. We got to hook up our vent tube for the gas. There we go. All right, let me lower it down. And there's one more thing we're going to do real quick. I noticed this when I was on this side over here. Where the exhaust comes out, if it comes out straight, it's going to get this bracket hot. I don't want to melt this tank. And this motor came with a muffler deflector. So let me find that real quick. I'll shoot the exhaust out towards the rear. I'll get 2 more screws. There we go. I think it's about done. Let me put the tools away and lower it down, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, let's engage the hydros here. Make sure the brake is on. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please subscribe. Anyways, you guys have a good afternoon. Bye.